Bobby Sherman, born Robert Cabot Sherman Jr. on July 22, 1943, in Santa Monica, California, showed early promise as a performer. Raised in the vibrant atmosphere of Southern California, Bobby's upbringing was one filled with encouragement and a love for the arts. Gifted musically, he mastered several instruments like the guitar and trumpet, and quickly developed a natural charm on stage. After finishing high school at Birmingham and Van Nuys, he went on to Pierce College in Woodland Hills, where his musical talent truly began to blossom. It was during this time that his fate changed thanks to Sal Mineo, an actor and singer, who cast Bobby in a rock musical. That moment became the key that opened the doors to Bobby's career in showbiz. Sherman became a household name in the late 1960s when he starred in the ABC series Here Come the Brides. As Jeremy Bolt, a soft-spoken, wide-eyed logger, Bobby stole hearts across America. The role not only launched his acting career but also propelled his music into the spotlight. Songs like Little Woman, Julie Do You Love Me, and Easy Come, Easy Go became instant pop hits, with Bobby quickly becoming a fixture on the Billboard charts. His boyish good looks and sweet, melodic tunes captured the innocence of the era, and his fan base exploded. He became a teen sensation, gracing the covers of Tiger Beat and 16 magazine, and performing on iconic shows like American Bandstand, The Ed Sullivan Show, and The Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour. Everywhere he went, Bobby Sherman was met with crowds of screaming fans. His posters decorated bedroom walls across the country, and his concerts sold out quickly. But even with all the attention, Bobby remained humble and appreciative, known not only for his talent but for his politeness and grounded personality. Unlike many teen stars who disappeared with time, Bobby took a different path. In the 1980s, he stepped away from the entertainment industry and turned to public service. He became a certified EMT and later joined the LAPD as a technical reserve officer, where he focused on CPR training and public safety. His nonprofit, the Bobby Sherman Volunteer EMT Foundation, trained thousands of emergency responders, turning his fame into a tool for saving lives. Bobby briefly returned to the screen in 1986 with a role in the NBC sitcom Sanchez of Bel-Air. Although the show didn't find lasting success, it marked one of Bobby's final acting roles and delighted longtime fans who remembered him from his earlier work. Sherman also appeared in a few films throughout his career. In 1975, he starred in He Is My Brother, a heartfelt family drama set in a Pacific Island mission, which allowed him to take on a more serious and mature role. Later, in 1983, he embraced comedy in the cult classic Get Crazy, where he played a bumbling villain alongside fellow 60s heartthrob Fabian. It was a tongue-in-cheek performance that poked fun at his clean-cut image and revealed his sense of humor. After largely staying out of the spotlight during the late 80s and early 90s, Bobby returned to the stage in 1998 as part of the Teen Idol Tour, performing alongside Peter Noone of Herman's Hermits and Davy Jones of the Monkees. The tour was a nostalgic celebration for fans who had grown up with Sherman's music, and it was a triumphant return for the star. When Jones stepped back in 1999, Mickey Dolenz took his place, keeping the energy alive. In 2001, Sherman gave his final solo concert in Lincoln, Rhode Island. Though his voice had aged, it still carried the warmth that once made him a pop icon. From that point on, Bobby made only occasional appearances, mostly for charity or private events, devoting his energy to causes close to his heart. In his personal life, Bobby married twice. His first marriage was to Patty Carnell, whom he met during the height of his fame. They had 2 sons, Christopher and Tyler. Despite the intense demands of stardom, Bobby was a hands-on father and prioritized his children even after his marriage to Patty ended. Years later, in 2010, he married Bridget Publon in Las Vegas. She shared his passion for philanthropy, and together they founded the Bobby and Bridget Sherman Children's Foundation, focusing on improving health and education in Ghana. Their marriage symbolized a new chapter built on shared values and compassion. But in recent years, Bobby Sherman shocked longtime fans with a revelation few expected. A private memoir draft that surfaced revealed his secret romantic connections with several gay actors during Hollywood's golden age. For decades, Sherman had embodied the ideal image of heterosexual charm, adored by millions of young girls. But behind that public persona, He quietly shared deeply emotional and hidden relationships with male stars of the time, a reality forced into secrecy due to the harsh, homophobic climate of mid-20th century Hollywood. One of those relationships, Sherman claimed, was with 1950s heartthrob Tab Hunter. They met at a Hollywood party and bonded over their shared need to present a false image to the public. Sherman wrote about the tenderness of their brief romance, describing how they found solace and freedom in each other during a time of immense societal pressure. Another reported relationship was with Rock Hudson. They met in the early 1970s while working on a charity concert. Though Hudson was much older, Bobby described him as a warm and generous soul who never judged. Their time together was short, but the emotional connection stayed with Sherman for years. The most complex of these relationships, however, was with psycho actor Anthony Perkins. Bobby described Perkins as a tormented genius, but with him there were moments of light and peace. Their bond was rooted in music, often spending hours at the piano expressing feelings that words couldn't capture. These revelations, though never formally confirmed in interviews, cast a new light on Sherman's legacy and highlight the suffocating culture that forced many LGBTQ performers to live in the shadows. Sherman's quiet bravery in sharing these stories, years after the fact, offered a voice to a generation of closeted actors, many of whom never got the chance to live authentically. In March 2025, devastating news broke that Bobby Sherman had been diagnosed with stage 4 kidney cancer. A statement from his family confirmed the diagnosis, and fans around the world mourned this painful turn in his journey. At 81, Sherman had retired from public life but was fondly remembered by those who grew up with his music and admired his service work. He spent his final months at home in Los Angeles, surrounded by his wife Bridget, his sons, and close friends. Despite his illness, those near him described his grace, humor, and optimism as unwavering. On June 24, 2025, Bobby Sherman passed away peacefully. The entertainment world responded with an outpouring of tributes, from fellow actors and musicians to fans who had adored him for decades. His legacy extended far beyond the screen or the stage. He was remembered as a man who gave everything to both his art and his community. From the bright lights of teen stardom to the quiet dignity of public service, Bobby Sherman's life was nothing short of extraordinary. A story of fame, courage, compassion, and truth.